thought I'd come on here today to give my 2 cents on some of the things that have been going through my mind over the last, let's say, 7 months. It's Mental Health Month for Men this month, so I thought I'd stick something on, give a bit of maybe advice for anyone who needs it, or just a bit of insight into what I have been going through and what I go through. Loneliness. It's a tricky subject to go through when it comes to describing it, or when it comes to just dealing with it, really. I mean, it's something I think all men struggle with, in particular young men. I think maybe like 16 to 25. I myself am 20 years old, so, but I think it's something that we've all gone through, whether we feel it now, whether we found someone and no longer feel it, or whether we're with someone and still feel lonely. I think working through loneliness and finding out a way to not feel lonely, I think, is one of the biggest struggles in life. And I think that's at any age, quite honestly. You know, I myself have struggled with loneliness, especially over the last year or so, moving on from education and going into work at the age of 20. You know, it puts everything into perspective for you, you know. And I think as well with life, how life moves so fast, whether it be, you know, going to a different job or starting, you know, a new workplace, obviously, but starting at a new school, whether that be university, college, upper school, middle school, you know. I think we all struggle with that, you know, meeting new people. I think in this day and age, you know, it's 2024 now, it is, I believe, the 10th of May, if I'm not mistaken, today. I think one of the biggest struggles in this day and age, especially with social media being out now, is meeting new people, quite honestly. Whether that be friends, a romantic interest, or just someone to hang out with when you're bored, you know. It's with all this social media, it's so easy to, you know, go to work or go to school, you know, and just sit on your phone all day. And I myself have been you know, I'm guilty of that, absolutely. But I think one of the main things that helped me overcome loneliness was realizing that we are all lonely. In a weird way, you know. For a long time, you know, I wasn't in a relationship, about 4 years. And then, you know, I got into a relationship with someone who I thought I would spend the rest of my life with. You know, that unfortunately didn't work out. You know, that's not something I want to get into in this video. But, you know, after that, I just felt so lonely. You know, it was a case of like, what do I do? You know, I had this person, I don't have this person anymore. You know, and everyone's always got their support networks. Well, not always, but a lot of the times there's at least someone you can speak to. But I think one of the things you can't really speak to anyone about is loneliness, you know, because a lot of times we'll have friends, we'll have family, but we will still feel alone. You know, they won't understand what we're going through. They won't understand why we feel the way we do, you know. And I think a lot of the times people don't fully fathom how painful loneliness can be, you know, and that's not just in a case of a romantic relationship, but like an actual, you know, just seeing other people in general, you know. You know, it's difficult to break out of the loop of being alone as well. You know, you get into this mindset of, well, I'm alone, I can't do anything about it, or you'll try to make new friends, or you know, you'll try to work something out with somebody. Maybe, I don't know, you want to meet up with a person, doesn't work out, you know. And there's always these things that will stop a person from being able to either stop feeling lonely or accept solitude, you know. And I think there's a big difference in solitude and loneliness, because I feel as though when you're lonely, you don't feel like you have anyone. But with solitude, you choose to be alone, knowing that you aren't alone, basically, you know. You know, over the last 7 months, I've struggled with loneliness a lot. And I think it was more of a case of I didn't want to help myself. I wanted to just curl up into a ball, you know, and jump into a hole. Easiest way I could describe it, you know. And no matter who I spoke to, no matter what I watched, anything, I think with loneliness you need to almost find yourself to be able to find others. Because if you can't find out who you are, how is anyone else going to get to know you? You know, and I think struggling to be able to know who you are is also one of the biggest problems when it comes to loneliness. Because you know, you may have friends and family at the end of the day, but if you can't go to these people, or if you don't feel like you can be yourself around them, then you'll feel just as lonely, you know. And for me, the main way I overcame my fear of loneliness and just my feelings of, you know, being alone, even when I had people around me, was accepting who I was. You know, a lot of the times people suppress parts of themselves, or lock it away, or deliberately stop being a certain way around certain people, or omit certain facts about themselves because they feel like they won't be accepted, you know. And I think that doing that not only causes harm to the relationships around yourself if you're struggling to build them, or if you have them, but it causes harm to yourself. Because if you can't be honest with yourself about who you are and how you feel, how can you be honest about how you feel and who you are to someone else? You know, and especially if you're looking to get into a relationship with someone, you know, how can you not open up to yourself and then expect someone to be okay with you not opening up to them? You know, I think being able to be vulnerable with yourself and accept how things are in life and how they're going is one of the, I think, strongest mindsets. No, I think is one of the strongest, you know, ways a person can live. You know, because if you can accept who you are, you know, yourself, if you yourself can do it, then you'll stop caring. You know, you'll stop caring how other people see you. You know, if, I don't know, someone you don't like doesn't like something the way you do, you know, if you decide that, okay, I'm going to stop doing this, although it's a fundamental part of who I am, to have this person still like me, or for this person to still be in my life, you know, it's not good for you. And I think over time, that wears a person down, you know, and it makes you feel horrible about yourself, you know, because if you can't be your true self with someone who you think is important in your life, you know, is that person really worth having around? You know, it's one thing to be lonely and feel alone, but would you rather have the people in your life not like you, you know, not like your true self? Because at the end of the day, you're you. And if you can't be yourself around another person or people, you know, then for me, I'd much rather not have those friends than force myself to be someone who I'm not. And I think when you feel loneliness, you sometimes try and force yourself to change unnaturally to kind of get rid of it, whether it be to change your personality, how you dress, you know, the people you go out with, you know, what you do, you know, go out drinking, go take drugs or whatever, you know. If you can't be your authentic self with yourself, how do you expect to be your authentic self with others? God, tongue twister. But, you know, loneliness is one of the biggest struggles in life. You know, there's 7 billion people in the world, and you're one of them. And there's only a select few in life that you will always know. You know, whether that be your mum, your dad, your brothers or your sisters, you know, close family members, that kind of thing. And friends come and go in life, relationships come and go, you know. But the only thing that doesn't come and go at all is you. You are with yourself until the day you die, you know. And if you can't accept yourself for who you are, you know, don't expect others to accept you. I think the most important thing when you feel loneliness is to be able to accept it. You know, accept the loneliness, embrace it. You know, that doesn't mean curl up into a ball, hide away from the world, you know, live in the shadows, close your blinds. But accept that people sometimes won't be there for you at the end of the day. You won't have someone to call in your time of need sometimes. Well, obviously you'll have your family, but and even then sometimes you won't have them. But being able to move through life with the ability to do it alone, you know, I think is one of the greatest strengths a person can have. You know, because at the end of the day, you don't want to have people in your life that cause you to change who you are. You know, you can't make it where how this friend or this significant other feels, you know, completely affects you, you know, because if you make it, oh, you know, this person's sad, you know, this isn't good, I'm going to feel sad now, you know, you stop being yourself. You stop caring about what you think and you only care about what others think, you know. A person is supposed to add to your life, not make your life revolve around them. And I think a lot of people, when they get lonely and they find someone, whether it be a friend, a partner, they struggle to comprehend that, you know, a person is a person, but they're not you. You know, you can't control these people at the end of the day. And I think when someone feels alone, they try so hard to, I think, control themselves in such a way that when when someone isn't happy with them, you know, they'll chisel away at themselves. You know, they won't be who they are. And I think that's the main thing with loneliness, is a lot of the times you can't accept the person you are. You can't accept your flaws. You can't accept everything wrong with you. Because at the end of the day, we're human. We're not perfect, you know? And there are things wrong with us. There's things wrong with me, you know? Oh, wow, you know what I mean. But having the strength and the courage to accept the things that are wrong with you and not fear loneliness because of it, I think is one of the most important aspects in life. And that's all I've got to say about it.